We got something wrong in our last video, and if you're planning to build this, it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. So let's fix it properly. Our last video on the Courtyard Barndominium, an integrated greenhouse, pulled 16,000 views in under a week. And then the comment section did what a good comment section is supposed to do. It pushed back. One commenter, named Wally Schmidt, laid out a detailed, point-by-point critique. Greenhouse sizing, aquaponic ventilation, fruit tree timelines, power company connection fees. And he was right on almost every count. I pinned a note under the original video acknowledging it, and I told you a follow-up was coming. This is that video. The Courtyard Barndominium concept is not wrong. The system works. The cost savings are real, but I left specific gaps in the original breakdown. And in home building, vague is expensive. What you are about to get is the complete picture, the real greenhouse, sizing math, the honest comparison between Aquaponics, Aeroponics, and Hydroponics, what the system genuinely eliminates versus what it only reduces, and the exact timeline for what you can grow from day one versus what takes years. By the end of this, you will be planning around reality, not around optimism. Let's get into it. Here's the specific gap that matters most, the one almost nobody planning a build like this ever addresses up front: greenhouse sizing. In the original video, we described the integrated courtyard greenhouse as able to supply the majority of a family's vegetables, herbs, leafy greens, and fruits across all 12 months of a year. That statement is accurate under the right conditions. But we never told you what those conditions actually require in square footage, system design, or a realistic timeline. That omission is what this video corrects. The greenhouse sizing truth. The first number every family needs before designing a food-producing greenhouse is this: how many square feet of productive growing space do you actually need? The answer has two versions, and knowing which one matches your goals is the most important planning decision you will make. Version 1, supplemental production. Fresh herbs, leafy greens, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers. The high-value, high-turnover produce your family buys weekly. For a family of 4, roughly 400 to 600 square feet of productive growing space delivers meaningful year-round output. A courtyard barndominium typically generates 400 to 800 square feet of interior greenhouse space. These numbers align. This is achievable. This is what the original video was describing. But version 2, true food independence, is an entirely different calculation. To produce enough calories year-round for a single adult, independent growers and researchers consistently point to 1,000 to 2,000 square feet of active cultivation. For a family of 4, that figure becomes 4,000 to 8,000 square feet. And this is where most people get it wrong. That is not a courtyard. That is a commercial growing operation. Here is what this means practically. Your integrated courtyard greenhouse, properly planted, properly lit, properly managed, can realistically eliminate your fresh produce and herb purchases. For most American families, that segment alone runs $250 to $500 a month. Over 10 years, that is $30,000 to $60,000 in groceries you never buy. That is a real and significant financial impact. What it cannot do is replace a full grocery trip. You will still buy meat. You will still buy grains. You will buy any fruit your climate or growing conditions cannot support. And in your first 2 to 3 years, while the system matures and balances, you will still make regular grocery runs. The honest framing. The integrated greenhouse eliminates the majority of your fresh produce bill. That is worth building for. But it is not the same as eliminating your grocery bill entirely. And knowing the difference now will determine whether this bill becomes a genuine asset or a source of expensive frustration. 3 growing systems. Your choice changes everything. Our original video featured aquaponics as the integrated growing system. One viewer immediately asked, "What about aeroponics?" That is a genuinely good question, and the answer changes your yield potential, your maintenance commitment, and your build costs in ways that matter. Here is the honest comparison across all 3. Aquaponics, which we featured, combines fish cultivation with plant production in a closed biological loop. Fish waste feeds the plants. The plants filter the water back to the fish. Protein and produced from a single system. Yield runs 30 to 38 kilograms per square meter per year. Water use drops 60% versus conventional gardening. And there is one consideration that needs to be said directly. A properly maintained aquaponics system should not produce foul odors, but it does produce consistent humidity, biological activity, and the low-level ambient environment of an active fish system. In a detached or outdoor greenhouse, this ventilates naturally in an enclosed courtyard that opens directly into your kitchen and dining room. It requires engineered ventilation, dedicated exhaust systems, positive pressure barriers between the greenhouse and living areas, and a mechanical filtration plan built in from the start. Design this from day one. Do not retrofit it after move-in. Hydroponics removes the fish entirely. Plants grow in a nutrient solution. Yield rises to 40 to 50 kilograms per square meter per year. Maintenance drops significantly. No biological balance to manage for a greenhouse integrated directly into a living home. Hydroponics is often the more practical choice unless the protein source from fish is a specific priority. Aeroponics is the high-performance option. Roots are suspended in air and misted with nutrient solution at precisely timed intervals. Yield reaches 55 to 65 kilograms per square meter per year, up to 45% more than hydroponics. Water use drops to 95% less than conventional farming. The trade-off: it is technically demanding. Pump failures, clog misters, and pH fluctuations can kill an entire crop in hours. It rewards growers who are engaged, attentive, and genuinely comfortable managing a precision system. If that describes you, Aeroponics delivers the highest output per square foot, which makes it the most space-efficient choice for a courtyard design where growing area is limited. If this level of breakdown is what you want on every barndominium decision, stay subscribed. This is the depth we bring every week. And the fruit tree timeline coming up is the piece that surprises almost every builder planning one of these builds. The fruit tree reality. Here's what the original video implied and what I should have stated precisely. Fruit trees. Fruit trees can absolutely be part of a courtyard greenhouse design. Dwarf citrus varieties perform well in controlled indoor environments. Dwarf apple and pear varieties can be trained to containers and managed within a structured growing space. Fig trees thrive in warm, enclosed conditions. This is established horticulture, not fantasy. But here's a timeline that every builder needs to understand before they project savings. Apple trees, 2 to 5 years to first meaningful harvest. Pear trees, 4 to 6 years. Citrus grown from a young nursery tree in a greenhouse environment, 3 to 5 years. Fig trees are the fast exception. Some produce in their second year. This means on the day you move into your Courtyard Barndominium, you have a leafy green, herb, and vegetable production system. You do not yet have a fruit production system. You have the beginning of one. For planning purposes, treat the greenhouse as a two-phase system. Phase 1, years 1 through 3, delivers consistent vegetables, herbs, leafy greens, and aquaponic or hydroponic protein. Phase 2, years 4 and beyond, begins adding fruit production that progressively contributes to your household's needs. The practical implication is clear. Do not include fruit production in your year 1 financial projections. Build it into your 10-year value calculation. That is the honest timeline, and building around it means consistent returns rather than early disappointment. Net zero versus no bill, a distinction that matters. Our original video used the phrase, no power bill. I want to be precise about what that means and what it doesn't. A 10 to 15 kilowatt solar system with battery storage, matched to a well-insulated barndominium, can genuinely achieve net zero energy consumption. In spring and fall especially, you will generate more electricity than you use and sell the surplus back to the grid. Your monthly consumption charge can reach zero. Here is what net zero does not eliminate: your utility connection fee. Every power company charges a base rate for maintaining your physical connection to grid, typically $10 to $30 a month depending on your state and provider. That fee exists regardless of how much energy you generate. It is not based on consumption. It is a service and infrastructure access charge. The accurate statement is this: a properly designed solar and battery system can reduce your electricity bill from $150 to $300 a month down to a $10 to $30 monthly connection fee. That is a genuine and powerful transformation. But no power bill overstates the outcome by a margin that matters when you're making a $360,000 to $625,000 financial decision. Precision here is not pessimism. It is planning, the complete honest picture. Here is what I want you to carry out of this video. Not skepticism, accuracy. Because here is what a Courtyard Barndominium, an integrated greenhouse, genuinely delivers. When designed correctly, sized honestly, and built with real expectations in place. Year-round fresh vegetables, herbs, and leafy greens for your entire household. That grocery segment runs $250 to $500 a month for most American families. Eliminated or dramatically reduced from day one. Over 10 years, that is $30,000 to $60,000 in produce you never purchase. An electricity consumption cost that approaches zero through a correctly sized solar system. With your monthly utility relationship becoming a flat connection fee rather than a variable and climbing bill. Water costs reduced 70 to 90% through rainwater harvesting and closed-loop growing systems that recirculate rather than consume. Passive thermal management through the greenhouse acting as a buffer between interior rooms and exterior temperature swings, absorbing daytime solar gain, radiating warmth overnight, measurably reducing your HVAC cycling across fall and winter, and a steel-framed home engineered to last 50 to 150 years, built on land you own in a rural market, where values continue to climb. What it does not deliver, unless you build at commercial scale, is complete food independence. You will still buy meat, most grains, and whatever produce your greenhouse cannot support. That is not a failure of the concept. That is an honest feature of the concept. A supplement is not a replacement. Knowing which one you are building keeps your financial plan grounded and your experience of the home consistently positive. So, who should build this? The same household the original video identified, with one added requirement. You need to be the kind of builder who can distinguish between dramatically reducing your cost of living and eliminating it entirely. Because the first is achievable, documentable, and financially compelling. The second is a headline. This channel is not in the business of headlines. If you are building in 2026 with accurate expectations, 400 to 800 square feet of productive greenhouse, a growing system matched to your maintenance commitment, a solar setup calibrated to your actual energy load, and a realistic 2 to 4 year ramp up to full production. You are building one of the most financially intelligent homes available in the American residential market right now. That statement I stand behind completely. If this video gave you something useful or something to argue with, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach people who are trying to build differently. Drop your biggest question in the comments. Your question might become the next deep dive on this channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is the depth we bring every single week. Hit that button. I'll see you in the next one.